Dog and cat fear makes up about 36% of all childhood animal phobias, and it rarely fades on its own. Listen, if you're a parent watching your kid absolutely freeze in sheer panic every single time a dog walks by, you know exactly how exhausting and heartbreaking this is. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're shifting the entire paradigm. We aren't just going to try to manage this fear, we are going to look at the exact science of conquering it. Don't calm down, conquer.
Like I said, over a third, 36%, of all childhood animal phobias are specifically related to dogs and cats. But there's a really crucial point we need to clear up right out of the gate. It's that dangerous myth you hear all the time. Oh, they'll just grow out of it. Well, the research tells us otherwise. These fears are highly persistent. Without actual intervention, this isn't just a quick phase. It's a lasting condition that can cause real distress for years or, honestly, even decades into adulthood.
All right, let's jump into Section 1, the phobia unmasked.
As a parent, it's so easy to feel completely isolated when your kid has this massive reaction to what seems like an everyday animal. But we have to understand the difference between typical childhood nervousness and actual clinical cynophobia. Cynophobia is an intense, enduring, and totally unreasonable fear of dogs. It triggers immediate anxiety and life-altering avoidance. We're not talking about a kid who just hides behind your leg when a loud dog runs up unannounced. No. We're talking about severe distress that literally dictates which parks you can visit, whose house you can go to, or whether you can even walk down your own street. It is highly, highly impairing.
To put that into perspective for a second, 5 to 10%. That's the percentage of kids and young people who experience specific phobias so severe that they actively interfere with their daily functioning, school, and overall quality of life. If your child's fear of dogs is running your family's daily routine, you're right there in that statistic. It's a very real burden, and it demands a serious, structured approach.
Moving on to Section 2, how fear is learned.
If we're going to conquer a fear, we have to dissect exactly how it was built in the first place, right? Most people assume a kid must have had a direct encounter, like a really traumatic dog bite, to develop cynophobia. But science paints a completely different picture. While a direct encounter can for sure cause a phobia, a massive driver is actually something called vicarious learning. That means a child can develop a severe dog phobia just by watching a trusted adult react with fear to a dog. They literally don't even need to be bitten. Witnessing the fear is enough for them to adopt it as their own.
Researchers actually note that children are evolutionarily prepared to rapidly learn fear of animals. Think of it kind of like a biological glitch left over from our caveman days. For early humans, rapidly adopting a fear of wild animals just by watching your parent run away, that was a life-saving survival mechanism. Today, though, that exact same evolutionary wiring primes your child's brain to reflexively lock onto fear when they see someone else get spooked by a friendly golden retriever. It's a learned reflex deeply baked into our DNA.
Which brings us to Section 3, the avoidance trap.
Look, when our kids are terrified, our absolute deepest instinct is to protect them. If they cry when they see a dog, what do? We cross the street, we pick them up, we assure them the dog won't get them. But here's the tough reality. This well-meaning avoidance actually maintains and deepens the fear. I say this with all the warmth in the world, but with firm clinical authority. Allowing your child to constantly avoid dogs is a trap. Every single time you cross that street to avoid a dog, you are confirming to your child's brain that the dog was, in fact, a mortal threat, and that crossing the street just saved their life. You're inadvertently rewarding the fear and locking the phobia right in.
So that leaves us with a pretty massive question. If avoidance makes it worse, and the fear is a learned biological reflex, how do we hack the brain to unlearn it? The magic word there is learned. We know the fear was learned through observation and reinforced by avoidance, which means, and this is the incredible news, it can absolutely be systematically unlearned.
Let's dive into Section 4, the one-session solution.
This is where we flip the script. We are shifting entirely from coping to conquering. Enter one-session treatment, or OST. It's a single, masked, therapist-guided, graded exposure session lasting up to 3 hours. Historically, getting over a phobia meant weeks, maybe months of drawn-out therapy, which is super burdensome and expensive for busy families. OST changes the game entirely. It's a rapid, first-line treatment alternative that tackles the fear head-on in literally one extended afternoon.
And we have the data to back it up. The landmark UK Aspect trial proved that a single OST session works just as well as multi-session CBT for children-specific phobias. This was a massive, highly rigorous study involving 268 kids aged 7 to 16. It proved that you don't necessarily need months on a therapist's couch.
A single, highly focused session can yield the exact same clinical benefits as traditional cognitive behavioral therapy.
For families, the Aspect trial is a complete breakthrough. OST delivers equivalent clinical effectiveness to CBT. It marginally decreases service costs, which makes it so much more accessible. And it has high acceptability among both parents and the kids themselves. This single up to 3-hour session is such an empowering revelation. It means that real freedom from this debilitating fear is so much closer than you might have thought.
And science is taking this even further right now. 75%. That is the number of 8 to 12-year-olds who are classed as completely recovered at a 1-month follow-up after doing virtual reality-delivered OST. That's right, therapists are using VR headsets to simulate dog encounters in a totally controlled, safe environment. It's producing massive improvements, letting kids conquer the fear before they even step outside to face a real dog.
So whether you're doing this in VR or out in the real world, the science-backed path to unlearning fear relies on graduated exposure. The steps are incredibly structured. Step 1. Look at photos of calm dogs. Step 2. Watch a calm, leash dog from a completely safe distance. Step 3. Gradually approach the dog, but with a trusted adult modeling completely calm behavior. Remember vicarious learning from earlier? Here's where we use it to our advantage. The adult's calm energy hacks the child's vicarious learning reflex, proving the environment is totally safe. It's step-by-step, it's methodical, and it works.
Now, a quick but very important reality check. While many childhood fears are common and conquerable, persistent, impairing fear absolutely warrants professional consultation. To be clear, we do not diagnose on this explainer. If your child's fear of dogs is causing major avoidance and severely impacting their life, please reach out to a licensed professional who can guide you through evidence-based treatments like OST.
The ultimate takeaway here? Empowerment. Avoidance is not the answer. Structured, guided exposure is. You have the tools, the science is firmly on your side, and you can guide your child from panic straight to peace. Fear Me Not helps kids conquer fears through play.